Hi students, let's talk about the progressive movement. Your essential question while we go through these slides is, what are the cause and effects of the progressive movement? So the first thing we're going to want to do is answer that question. What is the progressive movement? The progressive movement was a reform movement, basically change. It had a focus on making improvements, and people wanted to fight for a safer and cleaner life. So we have some pictures here to help us understand that. We have washing your hands. We have these children that were working in kind of some dangerous places like factories. And then we have this scale thing here. So the progressive movement is going to take a poor life or a poor working condition and transform it into a better life for people. So in this unit, we actually get to talk about a lot of really cool things. We get to talk about a time in the United States history where women did not get the right to vote. And I'm so happy we got to go on our field trip earlier this year because we got to celebrate the anniversary of when Utah women got the right to vote. Another thing we'll talk about is really unsafe working conditions. That's kind of a throwback thought because we've already talked about how dangerous it was to work in a mine. I'll show you some pictures there. We're going to talk about how dangerous it was to have children working in places like these factories. Because they had smaller hands, they could reach in and do things that some adults could not do on some of these equipment parts. You also did not have to pay children as much money to work in your factories and your places of business. We kind of hear that with our 2020 ears, and we're pretty surprised by that. It's hard for us to think about it. But if we could travel back a couple hundred years, it would be pretty normal. If your family couldn't afford the items that they needed, you did not go to school. In fact, you stayed home and you found a job. We'll talk about that in this unit. Let's go to the next one. So let's talk about child labor. We have a child here in this picture who is getting ready for their work day. So I want you to think about real quick, what are some of the things you see in this picture that kind of stand out to you as abnormal? For me, and maybe you've thought of a few of these things as well, he's holding this really dangerous tool. It's almost bigger than he is. Do we think he's going to be very successful if he's trying to use that? Do we maybe predict any injuries he might experience, cause himself or cause others? He has this little hat on to help him see in the mine. So you would put like your fire in here, and that's how you would, it's kind of like an early version of his flashlight. Some historians debate on what's happening here. He's either got like a pipe tobacco, or this was an instrument that could be used to check and see if the air quality in the mines was safe. So when you mine, you go underground and it's a tight space. So what a lot of employers would do is they would send these smaller children because they could fit and go further. And they didn't get as tired as adults did. So that's why they were hired. So there's a few things here that, are kind of abnormal. He worked in a hazardous condition, and because of this, we get these things called labor unions. That's a part of this standard. Labor unions were formed. Those unions united together, and they fought for things like more money and safer conditions. If those demands didn't work, like if the boss said, "Who cares?" then what workers could do is strike, which means refuse to work. Sometimes it worked and they got what they wanted, and sometimes it didn't and they got fired. So it was a big gamble. This happened in Utah. Okay, so we call this the Schofield Mine disaster. It happened because there was a buildup of coal dust. That coal dust caught fire and exploded. And as a lot of miners could hear that happening, because there's not just one mine shaft, it's almost like a spider web where they're all connected underground. You hear one shaft go boom and you try and escape, so they rush out, but they got stuck with all the carbon monoxide from the explosion. And if you don't have like a ventilator mask or an escape route, this caused a lot of those miners to die. In fact, it caused at least 200 people to die. That was a big, eye-opener for a lot of people. A lot of families were very sad that they had lost their husbands and sons because women weren't really working in mines at this time. And it didn't make people feel very safe. Imagine that you're a worker in the mines and your boss doesn't seem to care about your safety, right? If your boss is only worried about money and not safety, it's going to make you worried about working there. So a lot of these miners come together and they form these unions and they push for greater safety measures. So the fourth idea here are these labor unions. By definition, a labor union is an organized group of workers who unite to improve working conditions and pay for workers. So we have an example called the Industrial Workers of the World. Their nickname was the Wobblies. Here's their logo over here. Their goal was to get all workers to join a labor union. Labor unions exist today. In fact, what you can do while you're learning online is maybe ask your parents if they're in a union or they know anyone in a union. At our school, there are some teachers that are part of a union. Unions aren't bad or good. It's just one of the things that your coworkers can do to try and improve working conditions. That's the goal of a labor union. The problem, though, at this time is that workers, if they wanted to be part of that labor union, they had to pay to join. And most of the workers did not have the money. If you remember from the reading you did a couple weeks ago, the life of a miner, you did not make a big sum of money. What they would do to try and overcome this problem was use songs, kind of like something catchy that would get in their heads and encourage them to join. And we're going to actually listen to a few songs today, or at least for your test and assignments. Okay, the fifth thing, preserving land. I think if you know me, you know how much I love Utah. I think it is such a beautiful state. And the President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt, he thought so too. And a lot of people thought the United States had a lot of beautiful land. And they thought, what if we decide to protect that land? So here we have a picture up here of a beautiful place in Utah. Please notice there are no highways or houses or buildings or McDonald's here. This is protected land. They wanted to conserve this land and make laws so that people could not harm it and it would be able to stay around for hundreds of years. They protect national forests. They build watersheds. That's a watershed down here. They decide that land should stay undeveloped, which means they're not going to build things there. They create dams and they build mountain tunnels to divert and move the water. Okay, so let's check back in on what we have learned. Our essential question was, what were the cause and effects of the progressive movement? So over here in this column, we have a list of the causes, and over here we have a list of the effects. You can pause your screen now if you want to study it a little more, but just here are three things. Women want equality and the right to vote. We call that suffrage. Unfortunately, in this unit, we won't have a lot of time to talk about that, so that's just kind of a blank statement there. These ones are some that we have more focus on this time around. Unsafe working conditions, like the Schofield mine disaster, leads to labor unions. That's one of the effects, which means people are going to be making more money and they have better pay. The next one is a desire to protect Utah's beautiful land, so they build laws and things like that to keep the land protected. Let me go back to this first picture on our slide and just kind of check back in of summary of what we've learned. People start asking for a safer and better life. If you want the people who prepare your food not to be spreading germs, you want them to start washing their hands before they cut your meat, like what your butcher would do. That was brand new information at the time. If you, at your age, do not want to have to go to work and worry about your life, notice here this little kid doesn't even have shoes on, then you can thank the progressive movement for putting laws in place to protect children. If you are a woman or know a woman who enjoys the right to vote and have their voice heard, you can thank the progressive movement for fighting for a safer and cleaner life and making improvements like equality. Okay, if you have any questions, send me an email, but that is the progressive movement in a nutshell.